and we need it. Hey,
Hey,
Jen,
Gail, do you have a tab that has YouTube on it
do, do I have a tab?
open with the video on YouTube?
I don't. Do we need to see it?
Well, I was gonna say you should add Beth Cat as a
Oh, a
moderator for
moderator.
you.
Ooh, let me see if I can do that. Hi, Beth Cat. Hey, Kylie.
You have to go in through YouTube and click on her and add moderator.
Okay, let me see if I can horse around. I don't want to get. Dun, dun, dun.
We're stalling for a minute while people are getting their notifications.
What's everybody drinking this morning? I
Coffee.
have dark roast. What did I do? I think it's caribou this morning. A caribou dark roast. Oh my gosh, I've been so wiped out. I don't know how everybody else is feeling, but I have been so tired lately. I don't know if it's the weather, the allergies, the just the general changes that we're in, but boy, oh boy, I've been drinking dark roast and making a pot at night, which I haven't done in years. All right, let me see if I'm going to horse around. Jen can.
Yeah, if you open a separate tab for
Yep.
YouTube and go find the video, go into it, and then click on her name. You can add her as a moderator.
Yep.
I'm volunteering you, Beth Cat. Yeah, Beth Cat. For those that don't know, Beth Cat and I have known each other since fourth grade, so over 50 years. Ooh, it's been a long time, hasn't it, Beth?
Yay! Now that's a good friend. All right, here we go. Let's see.
That's what gets you through times like this,
For sure.
along with the new friends too. But those old friends really help
Yes.
keep us grounded. Well, while you're doing that, I did pull some cards, which I don't usually do in Sacred Sounds of Coffee. But we're talking about May the 4th, may the force be with you.
Okay.
Your force, your energy, may the force be with you, divine energy coming in through our crown chakra. And they're talking about sharing energy here in the card. So, when you get anxious or your energy is kind of a little bit wonky, um, you know, we're the creators. For me, wands are very creative people. We can create our own energy, or we can allow that energy to flow through us to create more of that divine love. So, knowing when to expand that love versus when to kind of contract it in a little bit, as a form of protection or a form of not accepting someone else's energy that's coming at you is very important. Here's my God card. That divine source. There's just ample opportunity to allow that to flow through us and to get those messages, and to nurture ourselves as well as nurturing others. It's very important to stay grounded right now because we are getting bombarded with energy we need to protect ourselves from. All that energy, all that change that's going on. And be aware, be discerning of those energy thieves.
Yes. Ooh.
My force field is my force field. You can't steal
Yes.
my energy. Intention is everything.
Yes. And I think once we dive in, if we have the energy thieves and we dive into that, we become our own energy thief too. Like we just give it all away. And it's, yeah,
That's
we
it.
have,
Learning to be discerning of who we're giving energy to, right? It's
yes,
okay to say no. It's okay to set a boundary.
right.
We so many times, especially with the givers, the
Yes.
givers in the world have a hard time receiving. And the takers will come along and just keep taking and taking from you if you let them, if you don't
Yeah,
put up some boundaries.
for sure. Kimberly, I'm so glad you're here. That's awesome. And I love its gas station roast and fake creamer. I love that. Been there many mornings, many mornings. We're glad you're here. Hi, Patty. Hi, Paisley. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. That's awesome, though. It is very
Station worth. I'm having my English toffee.
nice. I have been switching it up. I've been kind of doing all
This
my
was
own instead of Starbucks lately. So I just have been doing a lot of, I had a friend that gave me a bag of, oh, we have a situation here. Hang on.
we have a rosy situation.
We have a rosy situation. She was just
Hi,
going to
Rosie.
jump right in the middle of the thing. So I'm like, well, you might as well just come up yet. She was about to make a ruckus. And sometimes that means the computer flies off the table.
She comes up, and here comes Bella.
Oh, hey, Bella.
Bella's been coming up. I've had Lucy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we don't
Lucy's
see
behind
Bella
me.
very much.
She's glaring out in the sun that's coming through the window. But
Nice.
Bella is always right behind Lucy. So when Lucy's on the table, Bella's right
Lucy
here.
was on the tape when you were gone. Lucy was up. She was like, hey, what's up, Chiron today? She was ready to do it this morning. I could feel it.
Bella's been coming up a lot more lately. Her energy has shifted. Yeah, it started just a few weeks ago that as we moved into Aries season, the three youngest are all Aries cats like me.
Yeah.
Lucy's an Aquarius, hence why she's a little aloof back there, right? But the Aries cats when I think the first planet that moved in was Neptune moved into Aries. All of a sudden, I started seeing changes in Bella coming out more, pushing her energy forward a little more.
Nice.
She always has was with me off camera, but she rarely came up on camera.
Yeah, no, we've not seen her. No. Yeah. Oh, yay, Miss Bella. She's like, yeah, but only her back. She's giving us the backside. That's okay. That's all right.
It's because she's
one step at a time. Oh, look at your beautiful.
Notice me. Talk about an energy stealer. Please notice me, Lucy. Please look at me. She's showing you by example how it works.
Yeah, how it works. Excellent. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. Oh.
Came up a lot Sunday night in our live stream, and I was like, "What's getting into her?"
Yeah, she's just making the shift with all of us. Yeah, we are.
She's getting a toy out.
Majorly shifting. I mean, this is such a sort of cataclysmic time of change. I mean, and we have to look at, what are our choices for going into it? I mean, if we can look, on a small scale of our daily lives and all the change around us, in our community, in our country, and, the change we're choosing to make, how are we reacting to what's happening, what we feel, what our values are, and then, on a bigger set, the nation and globally. I mean, the wars and
and we're about to get a new pope. Talk about a major change,
right? Right, and
I'm curious to see if it's someone that's embracing of tolerance
yes.
as much and putting down the energy that is not loving towards our immigrants and our people that are downtrodden.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see if we get someone that continues that vein, or do we get somebody that takes it back?
Absolutely. And I feel like that's going to be a very telltale sign. Like I think, now that we've kind of moved into Aquarius more solidly, from 2020 to 2020, 5 or 6, we move fully into Aquarius, which is, we, not I.
Pluto with that age of Aquarius.
Yeah.
For those that are
yeah, the past how many thousand years we've been I, patriarchy, classism, all the things. And now it's we. What are we going to do? So
got all these energies, all these planets moving into Aries and then moving on into Taurus and Gemini. But Aries is first sign of the zodiac, is the leader and the warrior and the one that pushes and initiates things, and the I am, staying centered. I am.
Right.
Who am I? Am.
Yeah. Yeah. And who are you and how are you going? Are you going forward from a place of love? Are you going forward, because it's all kind of cracking up. The past ways of doing things are going to be no longer. So, sometimes it takes a big earthquake or a big whatever to make that happen. And I think how these giant structures go into the future depends on what they do now. Like you said, with the Pope, that choice is going to be either the future or the past. And if it's the past, it's probably going to crumble.
I think it's important to remember too that you don't have to be a loud Aries woman like me, to be someone that can push positive, loving energy forward and expand on that. Some of the strongest people I know are quiet, very introspective, very, very tuned into their authentic self, and just quietly push like an abundance of positive, loving energy, nurturing energy out there. So you don't have to be a loud
Right.
ass Aries woman.
And I think it's important that a lot of us are not, that we're standing in, witnessing and being our loving selves or our true selves, and just letting other people witness that, and example of what we want to do, where we're going, just that love base, that heart center. I don't think anything else is going to get us through a lot of change other than standing in your heart.
It's I think we're created in love, and we're created in divine love, and we are creators. We are all gods, right? We're created. We are created in his image and likeness. So we are gods and goddesses also. We create. And how we create and what we focus on, how we set our intentions, who we share, that energy with, we can control that. We can just go within and learn to be discerning with how and who we share that with.
Yes,
There
and
are
I
times
think
I'm very out there. There are times where last night I was in my bathtub, doing my bubble bath thing, and I'm very much going within when I'm doing that. That's my home base, coming back to me, coming back
right.
to nurturing my higher self, getting
Yeah.
into it.
And I think that's crucial right now. Absolutely crucial that we do know how to go in and be in, and be able to touch base with our truth and our higher self, and our, because you get so sucked into everybody being so divided and all the crazy and all the things. And
Sure,
it's
the
important.
people that push your buttons, that get you
Yeah.
riled up, uh, that sucks your energy, sucks
Right.
the oxygen out of the air. It's
It
like,
does. It does. And
breathe.
we're stuck in that loop. I mean, we're stuck. Everybody, people that you don't even want to fight with, your fight. I mean, we have to stay centered, stay in
I am
love,
not
stay
stuck. I am not stuck. I am
right.
not stuck. Say it
Right.
in your fake it till you make it. Say it in your head over and over again. My energy is
Absolutely.
growing and expanding in love and light.
Yes, and it is. It is. I mean, it's such an incredible time, but it's a time of choice. What are you going to do? You're going to stay stuck
Carolyn,
and in the crunchy little angry place, or are we going to let go and move into this new era, where we are, whether we like it or not, going to come together. We are going to be we are going to let the old stuff crumble away, but it's not going to happen overnight. And
chipping
it's not
away
going to
at it
happen if we
slowly.
stay like
Yeah, it's chipping away at it. And it doesn't help when you have family or friends that are
yeah.
um
Yeah, it's
not
hard. And I mean, I think
not okay with loving immigrants and
right. I, I think one of the profound parts of this is that no matter who you disagree with, or what the disagreement is, the challenge right now is to look at that person and say, you are me and I am you. So you can take the person that just makes your hair stand on end, and now is the time, you have to look at them and say, nope, we're the same. how am I going to manage that? How am I going to accept that into my heart? How are we going to know, that is what we're being handed right now to work on. I feel like,
Staying
and because we
calm
are the
and
same.
powerful. Yeah,
And so
staying
what is
calm
the
and powerful.
vision? Yeah.
It's easier if you stay calm and powerful and show through example how you're living your life. You can show, like, if someone's attacking you, they back off real quick when you're not attacking back, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're just putting this boundary around you and embracing that and exuding, this loving vibration, it's
Yeah.
hard for someone to keep attacking that.
Yeah. And the attackers don't always attack. There's times when they are in agree, it's and I attack, every time I get into one of those situations where I'm like, okay, what upset me about this? Okay, that person wasn't listening to me. I felt that person, was being cruel or being, whatever. I'm like, have I done that? Yeah, I have. So how do we balance that? How do we come together? And I mean, I think that is the huge piece of this time of change is looking at how do we face somebody? Because if we're all one, then how do we address people that we really feel we don't agree? How do we get to that higher ground where we're both able to come together?
Same
And it's
page.
hard because there's so much petty stuff and all that petty. But I mean, we're in this place of like, meh, 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 and we're not, we got to step it up to the next level and look down like from like, oh, okay. All right.
A lot of it, there's fear mongering, trying to scare the
Mhm.
crap out of us, and creating more of that fear that they feed off of. So, if you can release your fears and get more in touch from within, that helps to protect you.
Yes,
Don't let
definitely.
fear permeate everything. Like, we're not going to have imports. I'm not going to have toilet paper. I'm not going to have this. I'm not going to have that. I'm going to have food shortage. Lack, 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 lack. That's fear.
Hmm. Yep. And I think that feeling of being present, and when you're afraid, just stop and say, wait a minute, just kind of move through that, go back to your heart center, just kind of be able to stay in a place of not fear, because we have to, really do the work when we're not feeling afraid too, of not focusing so much on fear and anger. And we've got to get into that place of heart-centered and love and breathing. Yes, thank you, jazz lady.
I have to go back to
Oh
my
yay,
book,
the velvet dragonfly's coming out.
Lily Japata, because it fits so perfectly with what we're talking about. People come and call it love. People stay and call it love. People go and call it love. But this is why you must become love. So that regardless of what they do or do not do, you still remain full.
Nice. Yep.
So keep your art field full.
Yes. And just address, how do I stay in a place of stability and balance and love, even though things feel kind of off the rails. I mean, it's a time of real reflection, I think, a time of just,
What
you know,
our last video we did on outgrowing people, and sometimes you have to walk away. Sometimes it's like you have to let it go, let them learn their lessons their way.
right.
We're not meant to be the teachers for everybody, so sometimes you have to say, okay,
Mhm.
bless you on your journey, I don't have to be a part of it.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
Because sooner or later they'll get the teacher that yeah will jar them awake a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So I think, who's noticing like just a lot of the feelings of change and craziness. And I think everybody, I mean, we've talked about this for the last few coffees at least. But yeah, thank you, Jazz. Yeah, recognizing the magic. Yeah, I see you. um, but I think there's, as we go inward, as we, kind of are able to be calm within ourselves, looking for the things that represent change, a positive change, looking for things that you can do to kind of work through. So, like I would say, like journaling and shadow work, kind of journaling where you're letting go of the anger, you're letting go of the past, you're letting go of those old parts that you don't need anymore. And, just keeping symbols around you, like, do you have animals that are, represent change and transformation to you? Because this is a powerful time of transformation. I mean, not only are we struggling, but transformation, that's right where it comes from. So we're transforming into something else, and we just need to figure out what that is. Are we going to the bigger, higher level, or are we going to be stuck and go backwards? I think how we treat people, how we address ourselves, how we're able to share that, heart-centeredness will kind of dictate that. But there's a lot of ways to, kind of be in that. And I think it's important to recognize the symbols around you, like, nature and water's transformative and it flows. And it's so, whether it's a bathtub, whether it's swimming, whether it's just having a fountain, having that element around you that reminds you of change and transformation and
Because I think the clearer we are in our minds and our hearts, we're putting that out into the collective. So it's important for us to take some time by ourselves to become clear, so that you can project that energy in your auric field and you can merge that with the collective.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, that is what we are all one. We are all doing that together, and your energy is very important. And no matter what you believe, the energy that you put out is the part that moves us all forward together. That's absolutely, yeah, like the whole point of this huge thing that's happening to us. I feel like, where is your energy, regardless of what's coming out of your mouth? Where is your energy? Where is your heart? And how are you going to project into the field? Like, absolutely. Yeah.
Being you will be too bright for some people. It will be too blinding. It will be too hard to contain. They would rather you were a small light bulb when you are meant to be an entire flame. So don't let them put a lampshade on you. Shine, shine, shine.
Right.
You're meant to be an entire flame.
Light your spark, light the whole world. Find your spark, light the whole world. I think that's what it was.
A great visualization. This is part of what I was doing. In the bath. The bathtub's my favorite place to meditate.
I love that. I love it.
I'm always talking about my bathtubs. That's
Where's
my
your favorite place,
to
everybody, for transformation and centering? Let's say that.
Spring, summer, and fall, Lucy and I like to sit on my garden bench and look at the flowers and stuff. But my favorite thing, my me time, is really in the bathtub. And I just imagine white light pouring in through my crown chakra and just filling my whole body, and feel myself get lighter. You can tell negative energy's heavy, right? It makes you feel heavy. And when you bring that white light in, you feel lighter, even though we're grounded and everything, your body feels lighter.
Yes. Yep. I definitely, there's days I come home from work and I am like a lead brick.
Gale's been working too much.
Yeah. I come down and I do the bowls, or you know what's a big one for me is just standing on the earth, even in the morning when I take the dog out and I'm just in the yard and my feet are on the earth, and I just do that exchange of energy, and just clear it out, and I'm so grateful in that moment. And it doesn't matter if it's cloudy, if it's sunny, if it's cold, if it's, I focus on making that connection before I start the day. And it's really,
It gets you in the moment. Lucy lets me know when she needs to go outside and do some grounding, right?
I love it.
She goes to the back door and, and I have to put her little leash and harness on and take her outside. But she's got to feel that earth under her
Yeah.
feet a little bit, and then if the sun's out, then she's got to do the full body rolling and just absorb the earth. She's just. But that brings me into the moment. Watching her, outside is always fun.
Yes, it's wonderful. The animals are so much smarter than we are.
Paisley says you can be naked without taking a bubble bath. I like my baths. I do candlelight baths. I have little tea lights all around.
Nice. Yep. Me too. And I have one of those little where I do my books or my music or whatever it is. It's nice. Yeah, it is a healing space.
Yeah,
for us.
I have a little shelf above the bathtub that I have it's a little narrow shelf so the cats can't jump onto it. And I have my little tea lights across it. And I don't have to worry about them jumping on a candle and getting burned. Or
yeah. Or jumping in the tub. That would be funny.
Yeah, they come up and look.
Yeah, they're like, what's going on, Mom? That's so funny. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's important right now, I think, to find those places. Like for me, it's definitely outside, definitely out. That we have some really good natural spaces around where I live, and it's for even full on forest, and it's just so incredible to be able to be.
There's a great story about change with we both live in Illinois where we have all these great nature preserves.
Yes.
And especially, the further you get outside of Chicago, there's all these nature preserves. They built a lot of those and these long biking and walking trails from old railroad lines that weren't being used anymore. So they converted them into walking trails and allowed this nature to come up in these busy areas, that are business after business, and then all of a sudden you have this nature preserve. It's like a wonderful
Yeah, it is amazing, truly amazing. That is one of the most beautiful things. And we have a lot of lakes, and we have just little places that it's a place to heal. Like in such crazy, busy, trafficy world, you need places to get be sane.
Yeah.
So we are lucky to have, because I mean, honestly, put my hands on a tree or stand on the earth and I can shake off just about anything. Oh, I went out
my neighborhood behind it. I'm in a kind of historic area where there's all these older homes, and behind it is a beautiful nature preserve that I can do a 3-mile walk, or I can do, if I don't have much time, I can do 1 mile,
right,
or half a mile. But it still gets me out amongst the trees and the fields.
Yeah. It's so awesome. I had 3 beautiful blackbirds on the lawn this morning. And I'm like, I never get blackbirds here for some reason. And they were just gorgeous. And they were like all spaced equally. I'm like, what are you guys doing? And then the Rosie got a little overzealous and they all flew away. But they were just, oh my gosh, so awesome. But I thought, ooh, what are our symbols of transformation too? What are our symbols of change, and butterflies and caterpillars and all the different animals and the phoenix. I think we're doing a phoenix moment right now. I think we're in the flames
out of the ashes.
Yeah. But even keeping that around just as a reminder helps me too. Like, I think it's important to address the profoundness of what's happening right now, and I think having those visually for me, and then I just grab 2. I'm like, oh, what am I going to grab today? I'm like, nah, I'm not grabbing anything, but I grabbed 2 rose quartz. So I always keep those. I always keep one in my pocket and an amethyst to just kind of balance, stay connected with the divine, stay connected with love. Ooh, snakes shedding their skin. Yes, we are shedding our skin right now. What do you guys think? I think we absolutely are. Yes.
The title of our video, May the Fourth be with you. May the Force be with you. Luke and Darth Vader. I mean, Darth
Yes.
Vader changed. He transformed at the end.
Yep. 100%. Yeah. I mean,
So if
that's
you
where
want a
we are.
modern transformation symbol,
Right. Oh, but I love the snake. They're so, oh yeah, they're awesome. Major change. That is. We're the snake right now. Yeah, for sure. So it might be good if you,
bathing, sloughing off the dead skin.
yeah, yeah, it is true. I mean, we're sloughing off all the years of, hopefully all the years of, me centeredness, only me, I'm over everyone, I'm this, I'm that, and shedding that to more of a collective. I think that's, oh, Tiger's Eye is a good one too. Yeah,
And that's something
protection.
that's taken decades. The 80s was the me generation, so
Right.
to speak. The 80s was very self-indulgent, our big
Yes.
head hair decade. It takes time,
It does.
to
It
bring a
does.
metamorphosis from that. It's
Yes. And I think personally, we can look at the 80s, the 90s, but like more, universally, we could look at it over thousands of years. I mean, I think, we have been coming through this change of humanity, all the civilizations that have come and gone, and how are we, we got more about us, and now hopefully we're transforming past into more of a, but we'll see. It's so interesting to be living right now, with all of this. It's crazy.
the 80s was a very materialistic decade, working for that paycheck and then what you
Yeah.
spend that paycheck on, and
Yeah.
keeping up with the Joneses. You remember that expression? Nobody keeps up with anybody anymore. Now it's like, it's like, all right, the Joneses, y'all go do what you want. I'm taking care of me. This is what I want to do.
Right. Yes. Oh, I love that, Paisley. Sloughing off the wounds of the inner child. 100%. We're doing that universally, and we're doing that individually right now. I mean, that's a huge part. Everything is coming up right now, as we go through this really chaotic time. It's bringing up all the stuff.
One of the greatest symbols of transformation is springtime, the flowers coming up and rejuvenating and rebirthing every spring. It's cyclical, and that's
Yes.
when we're talking about like the decades of the me generation, and where we're moving to now, everything is cyclical. So
Mm.
every year spring comes and the flowers come up and remind us it's okay. Except for my tulips. All my chipmunks ate my tulips in the backyard. I only have tulips in the front yard. In my labyrinth garden, they have eaten all the tulip bulbs.
Oh my God.
I'm not
Not a
planning.
good sign, Jen.
I'm not planting any more tulips in the labyrinth because they've gotten them all.
Oh, man.
They like
See?
the sweetness of tulip bulbs.
Chipmunks. But that is so true. Everything is blooming. Oh, I just, yeah, this is like one of my favorite times of year. It's just everything blooming and coming back and reinventing itself, and yeah, just that sense of hope and sense of future, and just
And talk about expanding, like, certain flowers, tulips are not one of them. They don't multiply as quickly, but jonquils and daffodils, they
yes.
multiply. So it's like this year, I got a surprise of, okay, my bunches where I planted one bulb here and there now are clusters of flowers this year. They're expanding. They're
Yes.
rebirthing and expanding.
Yes.
And at some point, I'll have to thin them out a little.
Right. No, that's great. And put them other places, and they continue to, that's the
Expand
lesson,
and
right?
multiply. Yeah,
Take
it's
that
the ripple
energy and,
effect. The ripple effect, right?
yeah,
Everything spreads. So spread it
yeah,
with something beautiful like a flower.
right. Oh my gosh. Yes, absolutely.
Let's see
That's,
if I have.
oh, you got another one.
Yeah, I was going to see. I've got so many bookmarks in here. I can't tell which ones are red and which ones.
Oh, I've got a Mary Oliver too today if we wanna. Oh, Lily of the Valley. Jen, do you have Lily of the Valley? Paisley's asking. Those
Yes.
are such a representation of the resurrection and the healing and growth and leaving the past. Yeah, that's a really symbolic flower. Those are gorgeous.
I have a massive amount of them around the front here.
Do you?
Um,
Oh man, I just moved into a new place, so who knows what's gonna be against the association's rules. We're gonna have to look because there's gonna be a lot. How can you say no? Someone can't have flowers? That's crazy talk. So we'll just be planting the flowers.
you are truly unstoppable when you know yourself beyond their projections, their opinions, and their indifferences. You add an extra layer of protection when you choose to love yourself through their misunderstandings of you. Every time you choose yourself, you apply a thick layer of balm to your spirit. So every time you choose to be who you are, no matter what their opinions are, you're adding a protection to that.
Mm,
I love that.
nice.
It's all energy.
Yeah.
It's all energy. Right,
Yes.
Lucy? She's still back there.
All right. I have a Mary Oliver. The poem is
Okay.
called Swan. Oh, Florida's getting rid of HOAs. That's interesting. Huh. How, it's so interesting. They don't, um, like down in Florida, the properties don't, a lot of them don't cost anything. It's the HOAs that are cost you a mortgage payment. That's so interesting. Huh. Okay. Well, that people have no protection then either. That's interesting. Huh. Okay. Okay. So here we go with Swan. Did you too see it drifting all night on the Black River? Did you see it in the morning, rising into the silvery air, an armful of white blossoms, a perfect commotion of silk and linen as it leaned into the bondage of its wings, a snowbank, a bank of lilies, biting the air with its black beak? Did you hear it fluting and whistling a shrill of dark music, like the rain pelting the trees like a waterfall, knifing down the black ledges? And did you see it finally just under the clouds, a white cross streaming across the sky, its feet like black leaves, its wing like the stretching light of the river? And did you feel it in your heart, how it pertained to everything? And have you too finally figured out what beauty is for? And have you changed your life? I love Mary Oliver.
Too. And, every day we can wake up and change something about ourselves. We're not stagnant. We're not, we're always contemplating things. And every day we can reinvent ourselves,
Mhm.
in a small way or in a bigger way. But we have free will. So we can do that. We can create something new every day. Why
Yes,
not create something in a positive way?
right, right. That's the main deal. And it's not always easy, but it's the most important work you can do, no matter how little or how big or how, you know, that coming from that heart center when you engage the world is really crucial.
Right. I think that's why the feminine energy, whether you're male or female, we contain both male and feminine and masculine energy, and it's so important for that feminine energy to be on the rise, because it's more nurturing. It realizes, in looking at history, okay, I'm done with that. We don't need to keep having wars. We don't need to keep trying to change boundaries and countries and and everything. It's not serving anybody, so that's the feminine energy. Let's just take care of each other. We
Mm,
don't have to keep changing, borders and stuff. Um, it's it's hard because you look at the warmongers and it's like, why don't they get it? Why don't they wake up? Why don't they get it? That we've done this for millennia. We don't need to keep doing that.
Right.
But it's our feminine nurturing energy rising up that will keep expressing that and hopefully be that catalyst for change.
Right. Yep. And it's the time is now. Awesome. What else have I got today? Yeah, I think the main thing I kept getting is just that heart center, how crucial it is to stay in your heart center during the times of change, because it like Jazz Lady was saying, decisions are directions. So what is your energy? What are you going to do with it? How do you take it forward? And that's a day-to-day, moment-to-moment decision. And
Learn to feel your energy. A lot of us, we don't take, I'm an energy healer, so I feel energy. I can feel the auric field. But we can take time, like feel what it feels like when you contract your energy, when you're like bringing it in, like a putting yourself in a cocoon, right? Feel, oh, here comes Rover. Feel what it feels like when you imagine you're contracting your energy, and then feel what it feels like when you bloom it out, when you expand it out and fill the room. Your auric field is massive. You can expand it, and fill the room. Learn to feel what that feels like. Like, wow, I always feel lighter when I'm expanding my energy than when I'm contracting it. I feel heavier sometimes when I
right.
because it's more dense.
Yeah. And it's just but that awareness, I think, really focusing on that awareness of what is my energy doing? What am I feeling? What do I, because it's constantly, I think, challenged with all the just busy energy, chaotic energy that's out there. So I think, this is a huge time for meditation and really staying inward and knowing, okay, here I am. And how do I stay in that? And just, the world just goes on,
Yeah, inward does not have to be small. Inward can be big. Right, Ruru? So I'm only 12 pounds, but I've got big energy.
Oh, no. All right. Because this is so easy to say and hard to do. I think that's what our meditation is going to be focused on today.
I think, too, just learning to be discerning about what you're going to give your energy to, what you're going to focus on. And it's like, if something's not resonating with you, pull back, focus somewhere else, or focus within. Don't give your energy to something that doesn't serve you. If it doesn't feel right, pause.
Right.
Wow. So are we ready for our meditation? I got stuff all over the table.
I'm gonna mute myself and get my stuff in order.
For those who are new to Sacred Sounds, we do a little meditation and sound bath in every episode. If you would like to burn a tea light, when I do I call these manifesting candle lighting sessions. I do not blow the candle out. I like to use tea lights because they don't burn as long, and I let them burn all the way down. So if you have a little tea light that you would like to light with me, feel free. I have a certain set of archangels I always invoke from habit that I work with a lot. If you want to add in any archangels or your own guides or anyone you want to pull in, feel free to add names in the meditation. So, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Ariel, We surrender to your mercy, compassion, and healing. Thank you for being here with us today, for helping us to feel our own energy and understanding what is going on with our own individual energy. I am expanding my auric field with love and healing light. I'm expanding my auric field with love and healing light. I am releasing any fears that prevent me from being and sharing my authentic self. I release any fears that prevent me from being and sharing my authentic self. I am created in divine love, and I create and amplify that love. I am protected from any negative energies that would hinder or block me. I am discerning with my energy and with others' energy. I am a catalyst for love and positive change. That last one rang out for so long. And little Rosie laying in her chair meditating with us. Oh, whoop, you're muted, Gale.
Okay. Yeah, I try to let them ring out. That's a big, especially I always end with the heart bowl. So it kind of
Just
takes
to
it
switch
all.
how she's microphoning when she's playing
Yeah,
the
try
song.
to get do a stereo sound.
You know, it's funny because I was thinking about that while meditating. I had this image that came to me. You know, our vibration, like the ripple effect, like how we're vibrating will affect the next person. The next person. When you play guitar, um, when you pluck like the high E string, it will make the string next to it vibrate a little bit. So, like if you don't want to hear it, you have to mute that string. So one string will make the next one vibrate a little, and you'll hear it when
Yeah,
you're playing. If you listen closely, we're like that. We vibrate. So we are shifting people whether we realize it or not.
right. Yep. Yeah, I did a lot of sacral and solar plexus today, just for that kind of fear base, kind of energy base, any kind of trauma, and just, kind of working through and all the energies that get bound up in the solar plexus to kind of release and yeah. I have bowl brain right now. I just went through my own energy shift. I hope you guys did too. Yeah, Julie, was that from the bowls? I am like flushed, really
I,
flushed
I
right
I
now.
got warm there, and I
Yeah,
was like, okay, is it the candles too close to me? Like I
no, I
heating up,
felt it too. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
little heat.
flushing that energy. You get up really hot when it's really working on you.
I tend to sweat more in my head and hair and scalp and everything. Like the heat rises in
Yeah,
me, so it's like coming out, through the head.
yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, and I really worked on the more intense centers, right? Our solar plexus, where we're like, ah, and our sacral, which is, safety and security and anger and all the things. So, yay. Thank you, Julie. That was, I feel like
That's so
whoosh.
interesting. I thought it was just me, but and also
No,
my heat kept kicking on. It's so cold here.
that was a
My heat kicked
powerful
on.
one. Woohoo.
That was wow. I was
Yay.
like, I'm sweating.
Yeah, I know. I could feel I'm like sweating here.
Yeah.
Yay. That was some good stuff then. Yay. Okay, thank you everybody for being here today. Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful. We're so grateful. It's wonderful. We'll keep going. I don't know what we got for next month, but
First Sunday in June, we'll be back on my channel for Sacred Sounds of Coffee. And y'all can comment in the comments if there's like a topic or something you'd like us to ever touch on.
mhm.
We're always open to ideas. And
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So thank you everybody. Oh,
have a
awesome.
wonderful, wonderful,
Yes.
may the force be with you.
Yes. And the flowers. The forces of change, the forces of rebirth. Okay, guys, we'll see you next month. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll talk with you soon.